Hello, welcome to episode 1 of podcast Americano. Joining me today, I have my good friend Felix. How are you doing, Felix?
Good morning, everyone. Don't you love mornings when your friend asks you to do a podcast 9 o'clock in the morning? That's swell.
Well, it's even worse for me. It's 8 o'clock here.
Ooh, I love time zones. Time zones don't even exist. They're just a human construct like time. And choice is an illusion, kids. Don't do anything. Just drink orange juice, which is what this podcast is sponsored by.
I wish. I wish we got a sponsor on the first episode. That would be cool.
Oh, you kids like movies? Well, Simply Orange likes movies too, and we give filmmakers the best dose of vitamin C. There's vitamin D. I don't care.
You're doing great, Felix. You're being very marketable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What it is.
You have a good face for radio. You're going places, kid.
Oh boy, I got a big ass zit on my face. They're gonna enjoy that.
Okay. Aside from that, I invited Felix here for a couple reasons. We have kind of a history in podcasting. Hopefully that doesn't bring back some PTSD from prior experiences. And
I mean, they weren't that bad. They were pretty okay, I guess. I don't know, man. I had fun with them.
I did too. That's why I kind of wanted to do my own show. I wanted to reach peak white man and start my own podcast.
Then why did you invite a bean?
See, now Felix, you're not being very marketable.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
We're losing my YouTube ads.
I love Donald Trump. Okay, no. I'm sorry. Continue.
But yeah, Felix and I, we have a history in podcasting, but more importantly, we're both filmmakers.
That's right. We like movies. We love. Okay, I'm not gonna say I love Alfred Hitchcock. I hate him, but just for marketable reasons, I love him.
Yeah, we love the Hitchcocks, the Kubricks,
Spielbergs, the Lucas, the De Palmas, the Tarantinos in the world, and the Finchers, and the Coens, and the Russo brothers. Well, never mind. They make superhero movies.
They're not real movies.
That's just Hollywood propaganda. That's not real filmmaking.
Yeah. Yeah, so Felix and I were both filmmakers, and part of the topic of this first episode is why we decided to go to film school, or why he's deciding to go to film school, and why I decided to go.
Oh yes, yeah, film school. That's the thing when a young boy picks up a camera for the first time, or watches the Death Star explode for the first time, or watches a Serbian film for the first time accidentally. It's whether or not he wants to make movies, and if he chooses, or she, if they both choose to go that path of making movies, there's always that thing of, okay, well, how am I going to get to that? And film school is always that big roadblock in a way to decide, like, is this even good for you, or if it's even not good for you? Because film school is subjective. It could benefit you, and it could not. I mean, I'm choosing to go, but it's not like we're saying you should. It's only film school's up to you, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't help but agree to that. That is a very important thing to keep in mind, that it is very much up to the individual. That there is a good 50-50 percentage in Hollywood of people who went to college for their respective career, and people who did it all on their own. And all that I gotta say is, what matters in Hollywood is who you know. I mean, everybody says that. And if you're just coming out of high school, and you know your way into the industry, you know how to make films, the whole process, then maybe necessarily film school isn't for you. But if you're like me and growing up in the Midwest suburbs and the farthest away from fame, fortune, and Hollywood as you could get, and you still have that passion for filmmaking, you probably want to get an education somewhere, just to get your foot in the door, because film school can lead to many, many good opportunities. that are not only in Hollywood but also local.
I think film school is very good for because the thing is that when people think of film school, they think of what film school, how completely different film school is now compared to like when film schools were around in the 70s. People when they think of film school is like, oh, I can get access to equipment, and they'll teach me how to make movies, and it's all that shebang, the technical aspect. But I think film school is more of the community that you're gonna be exposed to, because film school I think is more about connections and criticism. I feel like film school is for people who know how to make movies, but now need that that social aspect added to their set of skills so they can achieve their way into the industry more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, very much so. I mean, like collaboration is one of like the very first things you learn, and that's like something that you're gonna be doing your entire career. Is you can't really make a film all on your own. You have to work with people, and you have to have certain roles, and you have to do certain things that not one person can do.
And sometimes like it's a hard concept for a lot of film kids to understand that you need people on a set. You need people to do movies. You can't do everything on yourself, like. And I understand, like, I'm not like here to throw subs or to throw shade about like the whole film community, at least in the East Coast, but there's a lot of kids out there who are really, really like, well, I can just do all this by myself. I'm the director. It's my vision. Like you can try, but you won't. You can make a movie all by yourself, but if you want to make a really good and successful and tight film, you're gonna need a lot of people. You're gonna need people who can be your DP. You need people who can do sound, and sometimes if you want people to do your stuff, you gotta do stuff for them. So maybe you won't direct your film this summer. Maybe you're gonna be help with your friend B Boom for the summer, and then he'll help you with your directing debut. Like, film school will safely or helpfully ease you into that, that routine of just getting used to like doing more than one thing. And I think it's kind of cool that film school teaches you to do more than one thing. You're not gonna just be a director. You can do things like if your boom guy is, he can't get his audio working or his Zoom's busted, you can literally go up there and just help him out because you have that knowledge of doing it. Or, if someone needs a DP, you can be the DP. You know how to work a camera. If someone has questions, you can help them out. So that's one of the good things about film school that I think a lot of film kids should, know now if they're listening to this. Yeah. Or adults. I don't know, if you're 40 and you want to get back to filmmaking for some reason, sure, why not? Go to film school.
Yeah, God bless them. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely like relate to that. Definitely like my first like the whole reason I went to film school is like I wanted to be a director, and not even like one semester in, just working on all the projects and getting to know all the different people, I kind of fell in love with the art of editing and documentary. So it's just like any other college where you go in expecting one thing and you might fall in love with something else. I mean, people change their majors all the time. Now, granted, like I changed like my whole direction within the same industry, but I would say like one of the more difficult things about film school is the price, because it is not cheap no matter where you go.
No matter where you go, it's a hefty price to pay, and then you'll be in debt. But that's one of the reasons why, if you really have to think of if film school is for you or not, you have to look at it at a financial standpoint of whether you could pay off that debt or whether you can afford it or you can get scholarships to afford it.
Yeah, and you definitely want to be certain that like this is the career path you want to go in, because I've ran into countless people who get through their first semester or their freshman year and they realize that filmmaking isn't that easy, and of course it's not easy. It's a job. It's a career. No career is easy, no matter what anybody tells you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'll be more easier though if you. Because if you got the filmmaker who's very, very passionate about his thing, he will work. He will stay up 5 o'clock in the morning in the editing room with a sofa because he's going to knock down in 3 minutes. Like, if he's banging out, like, work every day because he is passionate and he has that fuel, then it won't be that hard. But there are a lot of kids who think film is. I don't want to say that like film is necessarily hard to make, but film takes a lot of patience, and a lot of kids assume that filmmaking is very easy to do, or you just take a camera, or you get a script together, and it's bada bing, bada boom, you're in Hollywood, baby. But it's a lot more work to that, and it's a lot of more passion and drive for it.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of kids drop out because they don't really expect that intensity you're gonna get when you make movies.
yeah, and like that whole like big dropout rate that a lot of art schools have when I was doing my research. I mean, that's just all the people who didn't make the right decision, and it's an expensive decision to make. And you drop out first semester of freshman year, you're still like pretty in the hole.
Yeah, take that subs that Nathan is throwing at. Why'd you drop out the first semester of Chicago, Columbia College, jerk? What the hell's wrong with you? I don't know.
They're not listening. I already chewed them out when I last
Ooh,
saw them.
ooh, okay. I remember when I had a kid that I knew that dropped out of at least the film program in my school. We were very excited. We were both really excited to do this thing. We were really looking forward to just making films together and everything. Um, and then we made our first project together, like our first project. Like we had to edit everything. We had to have a shot list and everything. Like so, we were making like some finesse stuff. But our film professor watched it, and he was kind of like the main like dude of it. I was just kind of helping him out with it. So it was his idea, and the film teacher was just ripping him a new one. He was just like this. Who cares? Like at that point, my film professor was just like, who gives a shit? Why does anyone care about this film anyway? There's no significance. And then like he would just my friend, well, not my friend anymore, thank God, but he would just be like no, you just don't understand, man. Like it's like emotion, and it's like riveting. It's like anger, but sadness and confusion all at once spliced together. And he couldn't handle the criticism that everyone and my teacher was giving him. So the next day after that, he just dropped out, and he was just like, you know what, man, they're stupid. They don't understand me. So I'm just gonna do graphic design instead. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, what you're doing is stupid, but sure, it's just criticism. You're gonna learn to get better at taking it.
Yeah, I think that's another important thing to know. Like, you're in school. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to get critiqued. You're supposed to get better.
It's okay to fail, kids. It's all
Exactly.
right to make a terrible film. It's not the end of your career. Because when you make a terrible film, at the end result, you make your next film even better than the worst film. It may be another bad film, but at least it won't be entirely bad as your other films.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just important to like handle that critique and learn from it. You're going to write 100 bad scripts before you get a good one. You're going to act in a
Unless you're
hundred.
me, then you won't write you won't write 100 bad scripts. I'm sorry.
It's I'm being metaphorical.
Right.
But yeah, like you just have to learn to handle that critique, and it might be a hard pill to swallow. It might discourage you, but I mean that's just what filmmaking is really.
Yeah, look at Nate. He made a movie about Macbeth, and I assume it was bad. But look, he's still doing stuff. Like he's doing documentary, but he hasn't given up yet. I made a film, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was. And he keeps bugging me about releasing it, which I could release it if I want to, but I'm not gonna anytime soon. Maybe for Christmas, we'll see. But I'm still making films, Like we all make bad stuff, and I think film school is a great thing. Like to just keep failing and keep failing and keep failing and keep failing, and then you're getting better at it.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean I would say like film school is a better place to like get your practice than doing it all on your own. Because I mean if you fail all on your own, then you don't really get that immediate feedback, and you don't immediately learn your lesson from everything. So, like film
Yeah.
school definitely has that kind of benefit. But I would say, regardless of film school or not, I think with any project, whether you're writing, whether you're directing, whether you're acting, um, you have to finish what you start.
Yeah, that's true. You have to do that.
Don't don't leave just anything unfinished or uncut, even if it's god awful. At least finish it, because then you could say that you have something. And
Okay, I'll finish City Dude Blues, Nathan. I get it. I'll do that.
Well, no, that's just like a thing in general. I think that's a thing for all artists in general. Like you have to finish what you start. Otherwise, if you keep stopping when you're halfway through, you're never gonna really learn from it.
I agree. I mean, even though I don't finish things I don't really like, but you should do that. You should get what you want done. You don't want to be that professor from Jimmy Neutron who only finishes half the things. I forgot his name, Professor Clematius or whatever. I don't know. You know how like he'll eat like half a jelly donut and then he won't eat the rest. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be Jimmy Neutron. You want to just have a brain blast and make stuff and go to space without any astronomical equipment. Like, how does Jimmy Neutron go to space without a space helmet? And how is he talking to Sheen and Carl without freezing? I don't get that. Who made this show? I don't understand that. But anyway, you should finish what you make. You should do that. Don't leave anything half done. Don't leave the cup half empty. You gotta fill that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah. Because I mean, if you have something finished, you could put that in your portfolio, and it might be shit, but it shows promise. It can show. It could reveal something that you might not necessarily know about yourself. Um,
yeah. And also, I think what was I thinking? Film school. Portfolio work. Yeah. I mean, like, if you don't really have like like, it's not like colleges are expecting you to have the most finesse work. I mean, they are expecting you to have the finesse work, but like they know that you're probably most likely just starting out how to make movies, and so your work isn't exactly shiny, top notch, served on a silver platter good. But colleges will be aware of that, and they'll look in your thing, and they'll be like, okay, well, there's potential. They're looking at potential to to make you and shape you into a better artist. And also there's with film schools, it's all film school regardless, but some film schools approach things very differently. Like some schools are pure art. Like there'll be film schools where like they're like, oh, we want you to make whatever you want, and we want you to express the way you want to make your films. And then there's other film schools where it's like, okay, yeah, but we want to teach you how to make movies in a certain way. Like for example, NYU is very like, okay, here, look, we make movies like these, and we want you to make movies like these. If so, it just depends on whether or not you like what the school's giving you, or if you feel like if you feel personally like you would be better in a school where you can make the things that you really, really want to make, then you should look for into colleges that offer that opportunity to really increase your artistic vision and validation, instead of just NYU telling you that Citizen Kane is the best movie ever. Oh, look, you're Professor Spike Lee. You should like all of Spike Lee's films. Like it depends on what you're okay with. And as a person who likes the excessive freedom to make whatever I want, and I just need guidance to make my vision better, that's the type of schools that I'm trying to go for.
yeah, definitely. You definitely want to do like that kind of research when you're applying to all those schools. Like it might be film school, but it's just like any other college where you have to do your research, you have to apply, you have to get all the prerequisites done.
Do your financial aid. If you live in New York, if you're broke, you gotta do that Excelsior program so you can go in for free. Get that scholarships. Dorm, get out of here. Just get out of your house. Just go. I don't care if dorming's expensive for you. You just gotta get out as a filmmaker. You gotta get out and explore.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that I'm gonna segue into filmmaking is you get the experiences of being a human being. Because how else are you gonna make great movies if you don't have a life? And I know there's a lot of film kids who just kind of live in their room and just think that they're gonna make stuff. But it's really good that if you go to a film school and you kind of dorm out, because now you have this experience of being independent, so you get used to what it's like being an independent filmmaker and eating ramen soup every night because you're too broke and you can't get a job because you're working at a film school. But you get that life experience, and you can add all that emotion and all that experience into your work, and it'll look more authentic than just cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, like going back to it, like college is like the greatest years in anyone's life, um, like like having that experience in a dorm, having that experience in a city. I mean, like I'm saying in a city because like most film schools are in a city. Um, yeah,
Austin, Texas. Film School of Austin, Texas. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
yeah, just having that more personal experience, seeing the real world, getting out of your bubble, getting uncomfortable. Like that's what inspires creativity.
Yeah, be embarrassed, dude. Make a really, really weird experimental film in your first semester of school. Make something, and I guess this is just a general tip for any starter filmmaker, because this is the thing that I follow whenever I make my films, is you have to really, really think of things you know no one's going to expect. Like, when I was making my crown jewel, Deadbeat Debbie, which was a short film I made about a detective, hunting down some cases, I literally was thinking to myself, okay, so we're gonna make fun of a noir film. So let's get like a detective and his chief is yelling at him. Okay, we can give him something really cliche, like okay, he's looking for this dame that he really likes and whatnot. But no one's gonna expect that it's when they say we're looking for Debbie, they're thinking it's a woman named Debbie. They're not thinking little Debbie, the mascot of all the pastry food, of oatmeal cookies and Christmas trees and honey buns. No one was not expecting that. So you just gotta like think stupid sometimes. You just gotta think ridiculous shit. Another film like Tim Spotting, which I made, which is a parody of Train Spotting, but about Timberland boots. I was just being dumb straight up, but I knew that it would be different and it would stand out because no one would have thought of that except for me. So if you're gonna go in your first semester of film school and you want to rock out, you just gotta make something ridiculous. Make something unexpected. Just make something that's gonna make people go, "What the hell am I watching?" Because it's good, because they'll laugh. A good comedy is a good career way to like people recognize you of what your talent is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you're going to a film school and you have all this like high high quality equipment at your disposal.
I thought you were gonna say like, yeah, you should do it because especially film school is full of all that high quality artsy fartsy crap that every student makes about masturbation or what. I don't know.
No,
What do kids make nowadays?
Trust me, there's some really uninspiring bullshit that comes out of here.
Well, tell us, like, give us some examples, because there might be viewers who are going to film school that might experience that same bullshit.
I mean, like, it's just with any, like, other, like, experience in school. You're gonna have people who, like, have, those, like, wholly unique, really interesting, presentations, whether that be, like, film, PowerPoint, speech, whatever, and you're just going to have people that phone it in, and the people that phone it in are the people that don't even last the first semester.
Yeah. And I guess from my experience, I don't know, just I haven't experienced the artsy fartsy crap yet, but like I'm too good of myself to know too many college students already that just make the most like I don't know, man. Just when you go to film school, you'll see like some things that are gonna scratch your head and be like, so this is what fine art looks like. Then again, I am making an art house piece for Tribeca, so I can't really be talking.
Well, I mean,
that
like
much.
that. It really just depends on the person. Like, what kind of films do you want to make? I mean, some people really appreciate that art house style and those really deep thinking. Pretty ambiguous stories, and sometimes people just want to make flat out comedies or flat out action movies. There's really like no holds barred when it comes to what you can do, and that's like one of the great parts of film school is that you have like that whole like checklist of requirements on whatever your assignment is, but really like you're free to make whatever you want.
And don't let anyone discourage you of what you want to make. I think that's very important, because I'm not going to say that the film community of where you're going to be at is a dog-eat-dog world, but the film community that you're at is a dog-eat-dog world where people will purposely trash you because it's just this, okay, look, I know this is really negative to say, and I'm encouraging you kids to go to film school or not, But if you do, I hope this doesn't discourage you. But it's just reality at this point that the film industry is just a bunch of film kids talking about how big their dicks are. And by dicks, I mean films. And by big, I mean how good they are. Everyone thinks they're the next Stanley Kubrick. Everyone thinks they're the next Steven Spielberg. Everyone thinks that they're going to win an Oscar, a.k.a. me. But, like, you can't let all that barking and all of that, like, ripping apart on purpose to discourage you because it's a competitive field. Don't let that discourage you, because whatever movie you make, the reason why it's special is because you're making it. The reason why it's different, it's because it's coming from you. Even if someone's like, oh, that reminds me of this movie, what makes your movie different from that movie that sounds similar in a similar plot and similar characters is because you have your own take on it. You have your own perspective on it, which is 9 out of 10 is much more different than what that kid thinks your movie is making. So you should make whatever you make. And if you're going to be a kid that makes an action film, make an action film. Don't let people be like, oh, action films don't have any taste. Bruh, they haven't even seen John Wick, so they don't know what an action film with art looks like. So make an action film. Even make a romance. I encourage that, because romances are amazing. But everyone hates romance because they're single, and they're lonely, and they don't understand what love is. Maybe you're single too. But you know that you want love, so you should make a romance film.
And if you're like me, your love is for filmmaking.
Oh yeah, that too. You're who needs love when you have filmmaking? I guess that's good.
No matter how much you love filmmaking, respect women. Don't masturbate in front of them.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't invite them to your hotel room and just straight up just be like, hey, do you want to see my penis? If they say no, you should. At that point, you shouldn't even be in that situation. But if they say no, just listen to them. But if you proceed to take him out, then I don't know. Don't make a movie about where your daughter is Chloe Grace Moretz and she's 17 and John Malkovich wants to have sex with her in a black and white 2-hour-long movie because you have this weird thing for Woody Allen. And the movie's called I Love You, Daddy. And the movie is just really weird overall. And just don't be that guy. Even though he makes really good shows, like that one Fox show. Just don't be that guy, or don't even be the guy who decides to say that I might have like messed around with him, but I was drunk, so I'm gonna use this as a platform to say that I'm gay. Don't do that. And also, if you want to get really, really, really intuitive, don't deny them. Just if it happened, it happened. Well, how did we get here?
I said respect women, and then you went on that whole tangent.
All right, yeah, respect women. Encourage female. Okay, yeah. If you're most likely you're a guy. I'm not gonna assume your gender, but if you're a guy, most likely you are, because most guys want to make movies than girls. If you're a guy and you know a female who wants to make films, please encourage her to make her films. Okay, you have to. Yeah. Because we need more female artists. It's not fair. There's too many dicks in this place.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point to end on. Always finish what you start. Don't get discouraged, and respect women.
Yes. And also, drink orange juice when you're sick, because it's good. If you don't have tea, orange is always a good supplement. I don't care if you don't like citrus. It's good for you. All right? Just don't drink milk. Drink's really bad for you, actually.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to the episode 1 of Podcast Americano. I appreciate you for listening. Please leave a like, subscribe for more future episodes, and leave some feedback in the comments below. I'd love to read it. I'd love to create a podcast that everyone here can enjoy to the fullest extent. Thank you again, and I will see you next time. Thank you, Felix, for hosting with me.
No problem, man. I'm always welcome to host and talk about filmmaking for 30 minutes. It's good.
All right. Thank you.